most part, this is going to be a conversation with with us. A very casual, real, raw. This is going to be so raw, I didn't even wear makeup for this. Can you believe this? I was just like, I'm going to get so real. Go on camera with no makeup on. I have chapstick. That's it. So let me see. I love this. I'm like looking at everybody coming in. Tom, hello, Tom. And Al, Hrvoje in Croatia. I actually went this summer and visited with Hrvoje in Zagreb. It was amazing. I love Croatia. If you haven't been to Croatia, you've got to go to Croatia. So I need to hit record. My assistant is telling me, except I can't find it. Just so you know, Stephanie, I think that I can't find record, so if you want to send me a text message, I'm not able to find it, so I don't see it here, and I'm not sure why. I came on a few minutes early just to get all the bugs out, so you get to watch me trying to get the bugs out. So hang tight. You guys are all like, this is a pretty close list of mine, so I knew you guys would work with me. Okay, I think it's because of the webcam as well. Does anybody on the webinar right now have, my hair looks funny, does anybody have the ability to record this if we need a backup? Because I'm going to wing it. When I wing these things, sometimes they turn out great, and I wish I had recorded them. And there's probably a lot of people who want to see it. Tom, you're so sweet. Tom says, it's okay, you look fabulous. I hardly ever wear makeup. Makeup is just not my thing. I'm thinking of doing the entire reality show without makeup. We'll see what my PR people say. But your sound is late. Are other people noticing that my sound is off or delayed? Or is it just Jorge? No. Jorge, it could be, I mean, Mexico has great power out there. It could just be your internet connection. How is Mexico today? The entire country of Mexico, how is it? Like you would know, right? Okay, so Arnold, you're noticing it too. Mexico is wonderful. Semna Santa. My screen says I am muted by the organizer, so I can't hear you. That is something on your end, Deborah, that you want to take care of as soon as possible. Stephanie, if you could come on and help Deborah, I know you're trying to work on the recording thing, and I'm back and forth on Skype. So is there anybody who has the ability to record this, either with ScreenFlow or Camtasia? If you can. It's Holy Week. That's right. It is. Friday is Good Friday. I'm actually on a plane on Friday. Okay, so we've got 3 minutes before the top of the hour. Hi, everybody. If you've just joined us, I'm Raven, as you're probably well aware of, because this is my VIP list. And we're just figuring out how to record this webinar, because there are a lot of people who will want access to this webinar, and there are a lot of people I want to have access to this webinar. So just pretend that, just give us a second. So Stephanie, I don't see anything going on as far as recording, and I am getting your Skype messages. This is a totally impromptu webinar. A lot of you have, well, I won't get started. I'm like ready to go. I just want to tell you all everything that I've been creating for the last 4 months. I just am so excited. I'm going to do something that's never been done before. And Francisco, how is Portugal? Tudo bom? In Portugal. I miss Portugal. I was just there in September. For those of you who don't know, I was actually born in Portugal, and I moved to the United States in 1992. So that's 22 years ago. There we go. I was just a little baby when I moved here. Okay, Jorge, you say now you're fine. Perfect. Okay, so, oh, okay. I haven't had any heads up. If anybody could put in the remarks section, if you have the ability to record, I'm actually going to see something on my end as well. I really want to get this recorded. So let me pull something up. Okay, I think I clicked on something to make it record with ScreenFlow. Okay, good. Hopefully that'll work, and hopefully somebody else is recording this just in case. Oh, I see. I need to click on share my screen. Let me do that. Screen sharing. Okay. Let's see, before. Can everybody see my screen now? Great. Thank you, Rob. Rob Smith says he has Camtasia. Okay, can everybody see my screen? Are we, okay, good. We're ready to rock and roll because I'm certainly ready. Okay, that's right. I see the record button. Let me hear, okay. Okay, and everybody can still see me? Are we good? Let me just make sure. Yes? Wow, somebody is driving across the Golden Gate Bridge. David is driving across the Golden Gate Bridge right now, listening to this. That is awesome. People from all over the world. I love you guys. I actually really do. You guys have supported me through so many years, and I'm very appreciative. So I'm actually in Clearwater, Florida at the moment. I'm here with one of my best and dearest girlfriends, Lisa, and I decided to take Kaylin here to do spring break. And he was on spring break last week, and this week I'm just taking this week to really work and focus and put everything together. And I've been meeting with some of the top internet, or not, I shouldn't say internet marketers, they're the top network marketers in the world. On Sunday, Lisa and I went up to Sarasota. She's been coming to most of my meetings with me, meeting all of these phenomenal people. I was up in Sarasota. It's amazing how many multi-millionaire earners in network marketing live here in Florida. It's like Florida, Texas, and California are the 3 largest states. And the other day I posted up on Facebook, I met with Ray Cassano. He is phenomenal. So just all of these legends. And I have been putting the idea of all ideas together, and I'm so excited. You've been seeing that I've been very, very bold on Facebook, and there's a good reason for that. I really feel like for those of you who don't know, in September 4th, 2009, I walked away from over $711,000 with the company that I was with called Monavie. And the reason I did that, and I am the only network marketer in the history of network marketing to ever walk away from about a $20,000 a week check at the height of its momentum. Nobody has ever done that. And I walked away from millions and millions of dollars of future income. And I did that because I had integrity issues with the company, and I'll get into that in just a bit. But nobody's ever done that. Nobody has ever been willing to put their money where their mouth is. And I said to myself, why am I the only leader that's actually willing to do this? And I started to discover that MLM has lots of little ugly secrets that leaders will talk about behind closed doors, but they won't talk about it on stage. They won't talk about it in their videos. You know, a lot of leaders do their own videos, and they're not willing to talk about it in videos. They're not willing to talk about it on their Facebook. They're not willing to go public with this information. And I said to myself, if I ever got back into MLM, because I haven't wanted to, I love MLM. I love the connection. I love traveling around the world and meeting some phenomenal people. I love watching people go from $30,000 a year in income, barely making ends meet, to becoming millionaires like one of my personal enrollments in Monavie, Mick Karshner from Fresno, California. I put up a Google ad. He found me, and he had never made more than $30,000, $40,000 in a year. And he went on in Monavie to making over $5 million in 7 years. What's not to love about that? I love it. It's my life. It's in my blood. That's the good part. The bad part was I knew too much. And I couldn't pretend or be, I don't agree with ignorance is bliss. And my two core values that run everything I do and run my life, they're truth and freedom. I have to tell the truth, and I'm all about freedom. No wonder I did well in network marketing or MLM. So I said, if I ever come back into MLM and do it in a big way, I'm going to make the biggest difference, and I, with my community, are going to be the ones that tell the truth. And I believe in exposing the truth to transform something. Some people would call it bashing or trashing, and that's because they probably have some type of financial stake in keeping the lie under the rug, and they're going to just come out and say Raven's trashing MLM. And when you expose the truth, there's going to be a lot of different reactions. And I am up for the game and any reactions that happen, because I know the industry, there's going to be two people in MLM, two kinds of people. People who love me, a lot of them you, and people who completely hate me for telling the truth. But the only way to transform or to empower a profession or an industry or people, kind of like what Gandhi did or Aaron Brockovich or Martin Luther King, it's like, was he really trashing, or did he expose the truth to cause transformation, to create a revolution so that things could change and transform? And as long as I tell the truth to cause that change or transformation, then I don't care what people say about me, because they will say a lot of things about me. I don't care, because at least MLM has the ability to change. So this is how we're going to change and transform an entire profession and keep it accountable, because you know what? Right now it's not accountable. Right now there are things happening to this day in 2014 that are horrible. Let me tell you a story. Has anybody heard of Claudine Wolfe? And I'm actually allowed to use her name. If I use somebody's name, it's because I have their permission. And if I tell you a story and I don't use a name, this is being recorded. You can take it to the bank that it's a true story. I just don't have their permission to use their name. And you know what? Before we get started and I get into the concept of the show, I forgot about this because I get so passionate about what's about to happen to MLM. So I have to read this to you. Hold on one second, because we're going to be sharing on this webinar. So I have to read this. My attorney made sure that I had this. Everything you're about to see or hear in this webinar is protected under international copyright law. Regardless of whether you obtain a recorded version of this webinar or are attending this webinar live, all concepts, ideas, including any and all masterminding, become the sole property of the MLM reality show and Raven Star. Anyone willing to contribute concepts, ideas, and masterminding, because we'll open it up for Q&A, are willingly granting permission to the MLM reality show and Raven Star for sole ownership. You also release your image and likeness to be used in any promotional and commercial way by the MLM reality show and Raven Star. So at the end, if you ask any questions and we hear your voice, or you come on in any way, just know that it could possibly be used, your image and likeness, for the empowerment of our amazing profession. Okay, so let me go back to this. So I want to tell you about Claudine Wolfe, and let me escape out of this because I can't see the responses when I'm in there. And I'm going to take questions. I see some questions already coming in. I'm going to take those at the end. There is no webinar tomorrow. I just saw that. I'll just answer that quickly. It's just this webinar. Okay, so does anybody know Claudine Wolfe? If you could put, if you don't know her, say no, just so I know that you're here with me and able to respond. Okay, good. I'm seeing some no's. Are there any yeses? Does anybody on this webinar know who Claudine Wolfe is? Anybody? Okay, I didn't think so. Claudine Wolfe got the amazing news that she was pregnant. And she's with an MLM company, and she's, at that time in her MLM company, was one of the top 50 distributors. So she gets this news that she's pregnant. She's extremely excited. She's got this passive income. 2 weeks later, she goes to the doctor for a checkup. She finds out she's got aggressive breast cancer while she's pregnant. You can imagine the terror going through her body. She now needs to save her life, and abortion is not an option for her, and she needs to save the life of her baby. So probably MLM is going to take a backseat to that. Wouldn't you think so? But what are the two things we're promised when we get into MLM? Hey, whenever you want to retire on the beach, go ahead and retire on the beach. You don't have to work for the rest of your life. And what's the second thing that we're promised? That if anything ever happens and we can't work, we've got income coming in to take care of ourselves, correct? So she thought, because she's one of the top 50 leaders in this company, and I will mention the name of the company. Believe me, I will. She thinks, oh my goodness, I am so grateful that I have this. She writes a letter to her company and says, I'm not going to keep up with my sales quota because I'm trying to save the life of myself and my unborn baby. They send her notification and say, we don't care. She's like, you don't care? She does some research and finds out that this company has donated $18 million, and this is public, to cancer research for women. She's like, how could you not care about one of your top 50 distributors? And they said, you have to, business is business, basically. I mean, I wasn't there to see all the letters. This is totally paraphrasing. Business is business type of thing. You need to keep up with your sales quota or you don't get your check. She was, can you imagine you're pregnant, now you've got aggressive breast cancer and you're going to get your MLM check pulled because you can't meet up with the sales quota? Not only that, this is going to give away the company. She gets her pink vehicle, because that's what Mary Kay gives her top female distributor, or top anybody, male or female distributors. She gets her car repossessed. This is a true story, and it actually made People magazine. And I will show you, because I love that. We got to back up everything we talk about, right? Let me go here. You'll see there is Claudine's wolf story. I'm going to make this PDF available for everybody. And you can read the People magazine story. And unfortunately, here's the thing. Hardly anybody knows about Claudine. You don't know about her. Now, let me talk about a couple of things to do with this story. Oh, hold on. Why am I opening up this? Hold on. I clicked on the wrong button, obviously. I get too excited. Okay, so let me go back to this. That's what I wanted. So with Claudine's story, hardly any of us know this story. I do because I dig up the dirt because I want to know the truth. She did have her baby, and she went on to sue Mary Kay. And I am still to this day trying to find out if she got her settlement. But she won a lawsuit against Mary Kay for about $11 million. They countersued. So I don't know what ended up happening. I'm trying to find her so I can do an interview with her. Now here's what I want all of you to understand. Mary Kay is a company that we would perceive as one of the most ethical companies in MLM, right? It's a company that was founded by a woman. They have great ethics. They donate millions of dollars to cancer research. They do all this great stuff around the world. They don't take care of their top distributors, but we would perceive them, and they're a billion-dollar company. They're not going broke. They're huge. I mean, Dallas, Texas basically shuts down in August because of their convention is just for, I don't ever go to Dallas in August because it's like the hotel, you can't find a hotel room or get in a restaurant or anything. It's like Mary Kay. And then I found out that there's a website called pinktruth.com that tells the truth about the insidious behavior that Mary Kay does to their distributors. Now, if that's Mary Kay, what about all the other MLM companies? And when I thought about that, I got sick to my stomach because when I was in Monavie, the reason I walked away was because I was sick and tired of watching leaders knock on Monavie's door, and Monavie would say, oh, you want $1 million for signing up? No problem. Here we go. Here's $1 million. Come on in. Oh, you want a power leg in a binary so you don't have to build 2 legs? No problem. We'll give you that. When I got into Monavie, I got no deal, meaning I got no money. I got no power legs. I built both of my legs, both of them. I got absolutely nothing. And to me, for me to watch these people knock on Manavi's door, I said, there's only one thing that can happen. And that's that this company starts to go down. Because how are you going to compete with recruiting leaders or distributors when they can knock on Manavi's door and get whatever they want? We can't compete with that. And not only that, but it's unethical. So I said, I've had it. I can't do this. I'm out. And the other leaders stayed in, but for a while. The number one leader, who was making over $1 million a month, let's just say he was making $500,000 to $1 million, just to be on the safe side, a month from his distributorship. He left Manavi, but he sold his distributorship. And I knew that the top leaders, I mean, can you imagine making $500,000 to $1 million a month in a network marketing company, and you too want to get out? That's what happens when network marketing companies start to give deals and power legs away. And I'm like, what kind of security do I ever have in building a MLM company if that type of behavior is happening and I can't control it? Do you realize that if you're in MLM, you're part of a company right now, and you think, but my company is different? I'm telling you, I have dirt on almost every single company, and I'm going to come out with it. I am. And I want to show you what some of my peers, I'm going to show you what one gentleman said. He has over 30 years in network marketing. Let me show you what he said. This is what he said to me this weekend. I said, do you seriously think I'm scared? And he said, no, that's why I'm saying this. The worst that they can do is kill me or my son. Obviously, that's the worst. That's not what I want to have happen. And I said, you obviously have no clue who I am, but that's okay. I'm a feisty Portuguese woman. MLM conflict is like no other. And I said, seriously, bleep, I'm sure Gandhi's task was much more. And he said, I don't know you very well. You are correct, but I do care for you. I know the scumballs of MLM. And I said, that's right. I must expose these scumballs. And you will, I know. So I don't get it. Why haven't you ever exposed them? Why the fear? I have early on in my career 25 years ago. So why not now? Got beat up bad by two thugs and pictures of my mom and dad mailed to me that they were next. I appreciate your concern, but I'm moving forward. I know some of you are like, are you kidding me? Nobody's going to, Raven, you can go tell the truth. Nobody's going to like do anything. Well, I don't know if they are or they aren't, and I don't really care about that, because if this is the last thing I ever do is to stand up for someone who was like me, who had no chance. I had a high school education, and if it wasn't for MLM, I never would have experienced freedom that I have now, and I'm willing to fight for that, and I'm willing to battle whatever I need to battle and whatever comes to me, so that anybody who wants that freedom, that's why I came to the United States, was for that freedom. Anybody who wants it will get it. And the only way to do it is to go public, and the forum is an MLM reality show, and everything gets exposed. And the people who are going to hate me are the people who have a financial interest, and they're wimps, and they're afraid of losing their check. And if there's anybody who's qualified for this job, I've got to tell you it's me, because I'm not afraid to lose my check, ever. I feel like, oh, can you feel it? So this is a text message that I got from a good friend of mine. His last name is not on there. March 11th of this year at 10:28 p.m. I said to John, I want one more spectacular run. He said, me too. It's out there, but I'll take a job before I jump into a crappy MLM op. How about such and such company? Ha ha ha, because he knows I really don't like that company. He said they terminated my biz partner just like you said they would. I told him that the owner of that company terminated me in 1998 and had a class action lawsuit. And I told this person, John, I said, they'll come after their leaders. That's the type of people those people are. And I warned him. And he sent me a text message saying, yep, they're already pulling checks away from people. And I said, Bleep is a terrible human being. And then I said, I'll take a job too. I would rather work in a fast food restaurant than lead people to an MLM that has no foundation. And here's, let me take a sip of water. Here's the crazy part. You as a distributor have absolutely no rights. And I've got a checklist. Let me get out of this screen. Oh, I've got to show you this other one. Hold on a second before I go through my checklist. I posted on Facebook on April 11th, this Erin Brockovich thing. And hold on, I've got to move this panel thing over, and then I'll read this to you. Nope, we don't want to do that. And we want to do this. Okay. So my dear friend here in Australia says, Raven, I don't think anyone doubts you have the ability and know how to do this. I just think those in the field who have been around a while and watched some of what happens behind the scenes have heard promised exposures like this one too many times. Off the top of my head, I can count around six people he can count who have threatened to name names and call out all the fakes and the deceives, and then, well, let's just see what happens this